Welcome back, everyone, to AWS On Air. Today, if you're not familiar with the show, we are talking about all the latest and greatest launches from AWS reInvent. And I'm joined by two fantastic coworkers to talk about one of those impressive launches. I'm your host, Nathan Peck, and I want to introduce host here, Shashank.
Hey everyone, Shashank here, also a developer advocate at AWS, focusing on machine learning. This topic is particularly interesting to me as it is connected to machine learning. So I'll let our expert introduce himself and tell us more about what we launched here. Manish?
Hey, thanks, Nathan and Shashank. Hi, everyone. I'm Manish. I'm the product owner for the new service we launched today.
Awesome, Manish. So what did we launch today and what does it do? Tell us a quick
Yeah, yeah,
summary of,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. No, I'm really excited. We launched a service called as Ground Truth Plus. It's a turnkey data labeling service which helps our customers create high quality training data sets for their machine learning algorithms. And that too, without they have to build any labeling applications or manage the labeling workforces on their own.
Awesome.
Interesting. Huh.
Yeah.
I'm not super familiar with machine learning, but I do know that machine learning is only as good as the data that you put into it into training your machine learning models. So when you say data labeling, how does that apply to that process of training the models? Like, what exactly is that?
Yeah. So yeah, no, that's a great question. So as you think about it, right, in the machine learning process, the first step is collecting data, right? Then the second step is like you train that data, like or you label that data, and then you train your model, right? So that that model can then make real world inferences, right? Let's say a simplistic example is like a cat or a dog, right? If you want to have a model which can identify on the future data set that hey, it's a cat or a dog, then that model needs a lot of high quality training data, right? And that process of creating data sets so that we can train our ML model, that is what is data labeling. And that's why it is a critical step. What we heard from our customers, it's one of the most time consuming and expensive steps as well.
So, in terms of the cat or dog machine learning model that you proposed, the sort of input data might be a bunch of images of animals, and then data labeling would be the process of saying the label is either marking that this is a cat, this is a dog, or this is another animal who's neither cat or dog. So that way, the
Yeah,
machine learning algorithm can learn from those labels and say, okay, next time I see an animal that looks similar to this, I can say that is a dog, or this is neither a
yeah.
dog nor a cat.
No, absolutely. You are right. Like cat and dog is just a simplistic example, right? But the data labeling applications is span across, let's say, from medical imaging to self-driving cars, right? Where you want to make sure that, hey, let's say you want to identify in an X-ray, it has a tumor or not, right? In a self-driving car, you want to kind of feed in a lot of data sets and you want to identify that, hey,
Yeah, where the
is there a
pedestrians are and all
pedestrian?
that.
Are
Yeah.
there a stop sign? There are other cars. So there's so many real world applications across computer vision, natural language processing, and speech recognition.
Yeah, so Nathan made a very good point, right? Like the models are only as good, or the algorithms are only as good as the data you feed it. So
Yeah,
in essence, the quality of data that's labeled is the best the model can learn from, right? If you have data that's labeled wrongly, then the model is pretty useless. But a lot of machine learning applications, especially when you're learning machine learning, someone gives you like a labeled data set, like, hey, here's a labeled data set, go learn this framework like TensorFlow or something like that. But an often less talked about aspect is actually the data labeling and how challenging it is. So
yeah,
Manish, like, what are the main challenges with actually starting with raw data set and getting them
yeah,
labeled?
yeah. No, yeah, that's like what we have heard from our customers is that as to obviously you need large quantity of high quality data sets, but as the ML adoption is growing, the data labeling needs are also increasing, which is kind of forcing data scientists to spend weeks and months building these data sets, right? And which is taking away their focus from the actual model development, right? And other aspects of ML, right? And what we have heard from our customers is that up to 80% of the time goes into data labeling, right? And customers are typically looking to outsource this to other in-house teams, which consists of data operations managers and program managers, so that the data scientists can spend more time on other ML activities, including machine learning model development and creation, right? So these are the challenges which data operations manager, program managers face or what are some of the challenges which they face is these, they don't have access to these skills, right? They have to first find a platform, then stitch together a labeling workflow, then select a workforce who will actually label the data, and then
That's
manage the
actual
end-to-end
people, right?
process.
When you say
Yeah,
workforce, like
yeah,
actual real people who are going to
yeah,
label the
actual
data.
real people, right? And they have to continuously train, right? The business is evolving
Right.
so much. The data labeling use cases are changing, at a breakneck speed, right? So managing this entire operation is very cumbersome. And what our customers told us that, hey, they are looking for a data labeling partner who can scale their operations and provide high quality training data sets at lower cost. And that's where we are excited to launch Ground Truth Plus, which basically kind of takes all that undifferentiated heavy lifting away from the customers.
So I heard some couple interesting things you said there. You said selecting a workforce to actually do the labeling, and it sounds like also I'm gonna need some experts to try to figure out how to set up the process and what even good label data looks like.
Yeah.
And that sounds to me like I would have to be hiring an entire team. There's a lot of salaries involved, a lot of training involved, and it makes me think, traditionally in machine learning, you think about really large companies, but startups oftentimes it doesn't seem like they can afford this type of thing. They can't afford to have like an entire team of people hired just to label the data that's going in. So it sounds like Ground Truth Plus is trying to aim to serve this market of people who want to do machine learning, but they can't, build out this whole team themselves necessarily. Am I understanding this correct?
No, you are absolutely right. Because it's a like at a very break it down at a very high level two-step process. First, again, stitching together that labeling workflow, right, and then managing the group of labelers, right. So with Ground Truth Plus, customers do not have to worry about any of these aspects, right. And even if they don't have resources, that's fine. If they have resources, then also it's a scalable solution to scale the data labeling operations, because we have AWS experts who set up the data labeling workflow, which consists of solutions architect, data scientists, engineers using the best-in-class tools of AWS AI ML. And then we have our own workforce, which kind of labels that data set, which actual humans. And we have an entire team who kind of helps train them on the various use cases.
Wow.
That's awesome, Manish. I want to ask you all about all the different features, but I think some of these things
Yeah.
are better explained through a demo. And you know what they say, right? Picture is better than 1,000 words, and I think a video or an actual demo is worth more than 1,000 pictures. So
Yeah.
I think let's jump into the console, show us
Yeah.
the workflow, and I still have a lot of questions, and I think
Yeah.
we'll uncover those, we'll ask those as you go through the flow.
Sure. No, definitely, yes. So before I kind of kick into the demo, right, our customers can find us within the Amazon SageMaker console. Amazon SageMaker has a suite of services. We can be found under Ground Truth, and that's how our customers can navigate to Ground Truth Plus. Now, for this demo, I have three personas, right?
So
One is
Manish, just to
yes,
just to clarify, so customers don't need to be using SageMaker to use Ground Truth Plus. It's just under the umbrella of SageMaker, but
yes,
customers can just, if their only need is labeling, they can just go search Ground Truth Plus and they can come to this page to get started.
absolutely, absolutely. That's the part of portability and scalability of the platform, right? They can directly come in and get started. Yeah. Okay. For this demo, I have like three personas. One is our customers who are the actual users of this product. Second is a worker who actually annotates the data set. And then third is the Ground Truth Plus team, right? So first, I'll kind of walk through how easy it is for our customers to get started with Ground Truth Plus in minutes, right? And then I'll show you the second half of the demo, the backend magic, which the Ground Truth Plus team do to make all this come to life. So I, as a customer, right, or our customers, basically, the first step is for them to kind of do or submit a very high level information about their project. And they can do that by clicking on requesting a pilot button, right? So what it does is it basically asks for basic information about the data labeling use case. And it helps our team, once we get the form, to set up a consultation call with our customer. So I'm going to just fill real quick information in this intake form. I'll have a video use case today, so I'll select that. Then there is optional fields for the purpose of demo. I'll just complete this. Looks like I missed something on my form, and
It's
then
nice
I'll
that
submit.
all the popular dataset formats are supported, right? I see video, images, 3D point, document, audio. That pretty much covers the wide gamut
Yeah.
of applications customers have, right?
Absolutely, yeah. That's what we have heard from our customers. Uh, that they have variety of use cases, right? And that's where we wanted to make sure that our customers can come in here as a one-stop shop and do all kind of label all kind of data sets. So yes, so now it kind of submitted, right? The form is submitted now. Someone from an AWS expert from the Ground Truth Plus team will reach out to the customer and set up the initial consultation call. After that is done, customers simply upload the data in an Amazon S3 bucket, right? And then the next step is to create a project team. So project team is, think of it like a users, right? So customers might have different data labeling projects, and customers might want to give certain people access to what we call as the project portal, where they can monitor all their project. They can see metrics, dashboards. They can review the label output. So just to make sure that we kind of move forward, I've already created a project team and I've added myself. So that means only I will have access to the projects, to the data labeling projects. The next
So,
step
Manish,
is
who is in the project team? Is it the customer or you or both?
customer. It's the customer.
Is it
It's
customer?
all the customer. Yes, customers can
Okay.
add multiple users from their from
Okay.
their side.
Who are
Yes,
involved in the labeling project, maybe
yes,
domain experts of the data set. So
absolutely.
they are part of the project team. Okay.
Absolutely, yes. Sometimes again, customers might want to have multiple people have eyes on it, right? Review and
Mhm.
across the teams.
Reviewers and
So
QA and all
yes,
that.
yes, everything. Yeah. So I've already created a project team. So it says created. I've added myself here as a member. Now the next step is to open the project portal. So I'll click on this project portal, and this is where the place where our customers see that backend magic, right? They monitor the project progress and everything. So now
Mm.
I'll come back to this project portal and show what it looks like for our customers. But let me go back and show you the backend magic, which the Ground Truth Plus team does. So at the
Which
back
is
end,
like which is
yeah,
not visible to customer, but these are
yes,
all the things that make
yes,
the magic happen to produce the label data set.
yes, absolutely. This is all hidden away from the customers. They don't need to worry about it. Only thing they need to come is log in and just see where their data set is progressing or how their data set is progressing.
Nice.
Yeah. So now I'll move to the backend magic, right? So what I used for this demo is a CBCL street scene images dataset. It has around 3K plus images. For the purpose of this demo, we converted those images into video frames. So I uploaded the data in an S3 bucket. Again, as a customer, you upload the data in an S3 bucket, simple. And then I want to show this is how the raw image looks like. It has a bunch of cars, pedestrians, and we can see utility vehicles. So my task here is to draw bounding boxes across these objects because I want to train an object detection model. So that's what I'm
Yeah.
going to do.
So
this
for
an
real
example
world
is like,
application, this might be frames that were captured by like a self-driving car, perhaps, and like
Yes.
uploaded over IoT directly into the S3 bucket, or maybe they capture the data onto a local hard drive and plug that back in and upload it up to S3. So this would be like my own images that I want to train the data on now.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Coming from, again, as you mentioned, right, from the sensor fusions, coming from like, let's say, factory or whatever scenes, right? Whatever food safety, again, have cameras there. So this one, it's a street traffic scene. So once we have this sample, so this is the sample data. Now, then once the data is uploaded by the customers, the Ground Truth Plus team sets up their data labeling workflows in accordance with customers' requirement, and then selects the right workforce, because this is a computer vision use case, and the dynamics for a computer vision use case might be entirely different from an NLP use case. So the Ground Truth Plus team does all that automatic routing at the back end. And now I will act as a worker who will label this data set. So I'll move to the portal, which the customer doesn't see, but the workers who we call as expert workforce, they see that. So I'm going to open up a job in my worker portal and kind of move and show how does it look like for a worker, like what do they see. We saw the raw data set, and once it kind of loads up, I'll kind of show what kind of thing or what kind of a magic our ML techniques do. So if you see here, uh, majority of the bounding boxes are already drawn by our machine learning model. This is what we call as pre-labeling, right? So what it means is, by the time the raw data set, it has already been labeled by our machine. So by the time it comes to a human, their job is just to see if there is some mistakes which the machine might have done, adjust. So that significantly reduces time and the overall cost for the customer. So now, just for the purpose of this demo, I'm going to just delete this image. I as a worker, and I'm going to click stop and resume later, right? And once I've done that, the output of this now then goes into what we call as a machine validation model. So I'll kind of work. I have another job now. Again, machine validation takes some time, but again, to make sure that we are covered through all the aspects, I already have a job or the output of the machine validation. So I, as a human, deleted that box, and now, if you see on the left-hand side, the first car where I deleted that box, the machine has drawn what we call as a region of interest. Now, what it means is basically the machine is saying, because now it has again come to the human, machine is saying to the human that, hey, it looks like you have missed an object, right? And now I, as a labeler, will now delete this box and draw an actual bounding box. So I'm not going to draw it right now, just to show what kind of an experience our customers can see. So this image now have cars, like bounding boxes and cars, pedestrians and whatnot. So I'm going to do a stop and resume later.
Yeah, so Manish, for our viewers, these are steps that they would have to be doing if the customer has to be doing, if not for Ground Truth Plus, right? Because Ground Truth Plus is there, this is all fully managed. But if they didn't, they would have to actually go through this process.
Yeah.
And yeah, we have a few more minutes.
Sure.
Tell us what the other end of this
yes
the service
looks like. Yeah, no, absolutely, you are right. That is some undifferentiated availability which our customers might have to do if there was no Ground Truth Plus. Now, since I've done all the labeling, now I'll go back to the step 4, which is the opening of the project portal. This is the portal for our customers. Now I'll jump directly into the portal. This is where, again, we can see all the projects and the associated batches. I'll move quickly through it. Now, here is the bird's eye view, where customers can see what is the status of each of their batches, right? So projects is a long living entity and batches are like a short stream of data sets. So again, depending on customers, data frequency, they can send batches in a week, daily, monthly, right? And this provides basic details around how many objects were there, how many have completed labeling, how many objects are there for them to review, and how many objects customers have given feedback on. So I'll move quickly to this batch 22, which says ready for review. What it means is, what the Ground Truth Plus team is telling that, hey, we have done all our human and automated checks. Now it's your turn as a customer to review if it matches your quality criteria and if you want to do any sanity check. So it will kind of open up a similar screen where I can see as a customer how many bounding boxes are drawn. So I deleted that bounding box on the left hand side, right? So I, as a customer, will go and say missing bounding box on the left car.
There's more like a read-only view of the actual interface that the labeling team was doing.
Correct. Yes. But where the customers can provide feedback. Yeah, comment, right? So that the labelers learn from the mistakes if they have done that, right? So now, since I've accepted the batch, right, it moves to the accepted stage, right? It's and now I can accept or reject a batch. So now, once I accept a batch, it's basically asking me, hey, because there was just one bounding box, I said, yeah, that's fine, and I accepted a batch, right? So it moves to the accepted stage. So that's where, once the batch is accepted, our team will package the data as per customer requirements. and ship it back to the S3 bucket. So that kind of concludes the customer journey.
End-to-end workflow. And now it's ready for machine learning, right? Data scientists can go on
absolutely. They can just pick up the data from where they left, the raw data in an S3 bucket, and now they have a high quality labeled data set which they can use.
Thanks, Manish. That was a great overview. I think our customers would get a better appreciation of all the hard things that happen behind the scenes for data labeling, and it's how simplified it is. So so there you have it, folks. That was the overview of SageMaker Ground Truth Plus. If data labeling is a challenge you're facing, then feel free to go check it out. Thanks, Manish, for joining us, giving us an overview. And folks, stay tuned for more.